Metro Vancouver may be recognized around the world for many things, but did you know that we are also an international leader in solid waste recycling and disposal? You may not give it a lot of thought, but managing solid waste in a way that's sustainable, affordable, and environmentally sound is essential for any major urban area. In fact, solid waste management is one of Metro Vancouver's vital services. Jack Froese is the chair of the Metro Vancouver Zero Waste Committee. Welcome, Jack.
Well, thank you very much, Jenny. I'm really looking forward to our chat today about zero waste.
Let's start with the name of your committee, because it does sound quite ambitious. Is Metro Vancouver aiming for zero waste in the future?
Well, zero waste is our overarching goal, and certainly it's important to aim for zero waste. Let's reduce what we put out in the landfill. And realistically, what are we going to do? Pick a number, 5%, 10%? I think zero is a good number to shoot for, and we're going to continue to work towards that. In our world of zero waste, what we want to do is achieve waste not going into the landfill. That when we think of it as a linear economy, we make it, we use it, we throw it away. Circular economy is we make it, we design it properly so it can be reused, it can be brought into the consumer world, we use it, it goes back and gets recycled, disposed of properly, made into something else, and brought back again. So looking at ways to not get it there in the first place, and if it is in our stream of materials and consumables that we have to use, is do it in such a way that it can be designed properly, that it gets reused, or it gets recycled properly.
So the end is in mind.
That's
in the beginning stages,
That's
even
right.
while they're designing the product, thinking about how is this going to be reused after it's done the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to use, make, use, throw away, we don't want to do that anymore. I don't think anybody wants to do that anymore. We're all looking for ways to do a better job. And the circular economy is a term that we use to kind of get it in our minds that it's a circle. It goes back again.
How can Metro Vancouver incentivize businesses to be more creative?
Metro Vancouver's role is a regulatory body. We work with a lot of industry. There's the waste haulers, there's the recyclers, there's working with the province of British Columbia on regulations. They've set a lot of goals, a lot of regulations that we have to follow. I think Metro Vancouver can work with industry in making regulations that are fair to everyone and yet are reasonable, but yet help to achieve our goal of zero waste and help the industry partners that we do have be profitable. They have to be profitable, they have to be competitive. We don't want to stand in their way, but yet we do have to make sure that we have an even playing field for everyone. So working with industry, I think, and ensuring that we meet their needs and not be too overbearing, but yet get everybody on board through education and through sound regulations that we've achieved through working with industry, I think is important for us to do as a regulatory body.
So speaking of working with industry, when it comes to economic recovery, which is top of mind for a lot of people, how does a solid waste service fit into that?
Yeah, with the economic recovery after COVID is certainly new territory where everyone is finding their way through. One thing that I've seen with zero waste and with the industry of solid waste is that we're well positioned in British Columbia. We've done a good job over the last several years in working with industry, getting extended producer responsibility programs in place. When you look back at the way we were pre-COVID, pre this pandemic, we were working towards a lot of great initiatives. Single-use plastic, single-use coffee cups. Wanting to get people to use the same one. Bring your coffee cup to Starbucks or to Tim Hortons or wherever you go, and don't use the same one. And that's kind of gone out the window now. But I think the groundwork that we laid in recycling those coffee cups had already started. So we're building on that. And in time, we'll go back to some of the programs that we've started. But we're on a good footing right now, I think, to move forward.
Give me more detail about one of those programs you mentioned, the extended producer program.
Yeah, so extended producer program is the responsibility that a producer takes when they make a product, sell a product, and taking that product back in. And I think the obvious one that we probably all grew up doing was collecting pop bottles and bringing them back for your refund. And that is that type of program where there's a fee attached to the product, the consumer uses it, they can bring it back, and they get a refund. Or when they purchase the product, they're paying a small fee in that purchase, which then goes towards the cost to recycle that product. That's an important thing to do. It puts responsibility to the producer. It also puts responsibility to the consumer. But there's a cost to all of this, and adding that cost up front is part of that program. So as many products as we can get, work with industry to get onto that program, better.
Metro Vancouver is known around the world for its solid waste management and recycling. Why?
Metro Vancouver's taken a leadership role. The Zero Waste Council is started here at Metro Vancouver. It works with other cities, Edmonton, Calgary, Montreal, Toronto, Halifax, are all involved in this program to work towards what we call the circular economy. All products have a circular life and they go back into the stream. And getting academics on board, getting industry on board, and having other cities buy in, I think is important. And Metro Vancouver has taken a lead role in that and is recognized for its work in reducing waste and looking for better ways to deal with all the products that we use every day.
When we think about the impact of COVID-19, there have been some expected and unexpected outcomes of that. How has the service fared?
It's fared well. I think with solid waste, we're not as impacted as much by pandemics or natural disasters. We are, as I said, we're well established from some of our policies, procedures that we used in the past to lead into this new era. Certainly, we're seeing, personal protection equipment. Who would have thought we'd have to wear a mask, in so many different places, and gloves and hand cleansers? Yet we're finding that they're being disposed of improperly sometimes. So now we have a new educational program to make sure that people know how to dispose of these products properly. So that's something new. I think we're well positioned, but yet there are some new learnings. I think there's a lot of economic pressures on the industry dealing with this new world of COVID and how we deal, but we have to work with them. And I think with our regulations and working with the industry, it's some new uncharted territory, but I think we had a lot of good policies already in place.
What are some of these pressures that the industry is facing?
Well, it's for you and myself in our house, we can separate our garbage quite easily. It's just a few of us. But what some of the industry is finding when they go to commercial establishments, restaurants, fast food restaurants, where they're relying on customers to, put things away, it's not always done properly. And I think that's a huge educational curve for businesses and for the industry to have separation of your food waste or your paper waste and your bottles and everything else, and have that all there for everybody, and then getting it into the waste stream properly. I'd say it's an educational journey we have to go down. It'll happen, but it takes time, and it's not overnight. And so I know we're finding those are the pressures that the industry has, and they've made that known to us. Don't be too overbearing on regulations, because it's difficult for them then to go to their customers and get them trained. But we are working towards that, and I think we've made huge strides in the last few years, and we'll continue to do that.
What are some of the projects or future projects that are underway?
Well, a big one right now is the Coquitlam Waste Transfer Station. That's should be completed in 2021. It serves about 200,000 people. It's open every day of the year except for two, and it has a complete residential and commercial waste stream, so the traffic flows work better. Free recycling for products. So that is one of our big projects that's happening right now. I think it's fairly exciting. And when we see that thing opening in 2021, it should open. It'll be good to see what we can do. And we'll need to continue to upgrade and improve our other aging infrastructure. And the interesting thing about that whole project, there is one waste recovery facility in Metro Vancouver. It's an incinerator, and very modern, lots of good protocols in place and make sure that the emissions are kept very low. But there is a product that comes out of it, and that's the ash. And that ash is almost like a fine gravel. And it's been used as the base for this new transfer station as a construction material. And we're looking for ways that we can get that into other construction sites too, is taking that waste and putting it to good use.
What has been surprising for you?
I think the complexity of this industry. I've toured, been down to Washington State and Oregon State and toured landfills there and how they do it at such a large scale. And some of the good work they're doing, and they recover the gas that comes out of the landfill and put it into the consumer stream, either as gas or as electricity. I think the size of this industry has been surprising, how much and how complex it is. There are no real easy, simple answers, but there are ways we can achieve it. And the other part of it is it goes down to the simplest denominator. It's each one of us. Each one of us doing our part is what's going to make a difference. It's not government that's going to make the difference. It's going to be individuals making a difference in their own homes, separating the garbage, when they go to work, making sure that the protocols are placed in the commercial world. It starts with us, but it reaches as a big, complex machine out there when you have massive landfills that are dealing with the waste from the northwest, the northwest part of the continent, really. So I think that's been the most surprising, how big this industry really is. Yeah, and one thing to look forward to is November 13th is our Zero Waste Conference. It's the 10th annual Zero Waste Conference, where we bring leaders from all over the world to talk about zero waste. and the circular economy. So looking forward to that, and I hope everyone can make it.
And it's going to be a virtual conference?
Yes, it will be.
Thanks so much for this.
Well, thank you very much, Jenny. It's been a pleasure to be here today.
Jack Froese is the mayor of the Township of Langley. He is also the chair of Metro Vancouver's Zero Waste Committee.